Please help me welcome Jusitn.
This is what a correct sequence looks like. Using our 3D technology, this is what the printouts of a correct kinematic sequence will look like. And each one of those colored lines represents a piece of the body. The red is the leg, the green is his core, the blue are his shoulders and arms, and the brown is the barrel head. Each piece of the body feeds energy into the next for a summation of forces. That means the swing definitely starts from the ground, meaning your legs. And if your legs fire first ahead of a resisting upper body, it's going to provide energy into your core. If the core is tight, I'm going to show you guys how to tighten the core during the swing. If the core is tight, it becomes a conduit. That means it's going to receive the energy from the legs, and if it's tight, it's going to pass it on. If you have a loose core, that energy gets dissipated. That means you're going to send energy from the legs, it gets washed up in your midsection, and doesn't get passed on as efficiently. So we want the leg energy, the first part of the swing, to fire into the upper body as quickly as possible. And the body has to continually resist and be tight in order to do so. And this is the correct sequence, meaning each body part fires just a bit. You see the spike, just a bit after the previous body part, and continues in that summation of force. Coil, the spring of the swing is around your rear hip. And so I'm going to do this first, and I'm going to have you guys do the same thing and stand up with me. I take its internal rotation of your finger. So if I take the inside of my right hand here, the inside toe into my left instep, you notice that my hips are turning this way now. And I'm going to turn my hips back to you. So right now, I'm basically taking the ball of my femur and trying to rip it off out of my hip socket. That is the spring of the swing, and the pull and stretch I feel around my rear hip. That's the coil of your spring. That's what we're trying to do in our negative move. And I don't have to go back a great deal in my upper body to do so. So when I jam that toe into my instep and turn my hips back forward on you, and then release my other shoe, my body naturally unwind. I'm going to actually get you guys to move through the same thing, because this is going to get you to feel the same thing. We're trying to create a negative move with your hips. So stand up for me. It's pretty cool to stand out with me the same way. If you're right-handed here, you're going to take your right instep, your right toe, you're going to jam it into your left instep. If you're left-handed here, you're going to take your left big toe and jam it into your right instep. Now your hips are turned right now. Now turn your hips back forward. You're going to feel the ball of your femur almost ripping off in your hip. Now release. Now I'm a right-handed hitter, so I'm going to release my left shoe. You're going to feel your body naturally unwind. Now that unwinding effect is the spring of your swing. That's, I think, the most often taught part of the swing are our hands. And I too, I was guilty of this when I was 22. And we all think, okay, get in the barrels of baseball, ball contact, obviously the most important part of hitting. So getting my hands to the ball, if I can get our players to do that and stay inside, they've got a chance. Yeah, that's true in some sense. But you're putting the cart before the horse if we're teaching it that order. The hands, as we saw on that graph I had in the kinematic sequence, are the last part of the swing to fire. So if we're talking about hands first, before we get them in sequence in our lower body, if our lower body is not correct, if our core is not correct, if we're not on time with each of those moves, you have zero chance getting your hands to the baseball successfully. We can talk about staying inside, and all hitting coaches talk about getting extension through the ball. I never talked about either one of them. I did for a long time. I worked on a lot. I never tell my hitters to stay inside the ball, and I never tell them to get extension. Because if I get them in sequence, they bypass. They're always inside the ball, and they're always getting extension. I had, again, the luxury of working for a professional organization for a long time, so I had downtime during games. And what we did one time was we filmed using high-speed cameras, pitcher and hitter in the same frame for an entire series. And we measured when exactly the hitters were using their negative move, and then when they were striking, based on what the pitcher was doing. Now, everybody's negative move is different, because styles are different. So you're not going to have one definite answer. This is when the negative move needs to start. Because if a guy has a toe tap, it's a longer negative move. If he has a knee lift, it's a longer negative move. But what was consistent with all of these hitters is their center of gravity advances on the pitcher's release. Notice I didn't say stride. Because the center of gravity is different than a stride. If you consider a knee lift, some guys would consider that a stride. It's not flipping off the ground. In reality, a knee lift is a type of a negative move. But my belly button is going to gain ground on the pitcher's release. So if you can backtrack from there and have the hitter figure out when do I need to start my negative move, So under control and good tempo, good body control out, when can I get my center of gravity to match up to the pitcher's release? This is a scap load, and I'll explain it after you see Carlos Clinton do it. The rear elbow right here is coming towards my camera and the camera well. The scap on the back side, your scapula, your shoulder blade, is what keeps the front side closed. So you guys have told your hitters your front shoulder's coming out, you're coming off the ball early in your upper body. That is not a front side issue. That has nothing to do with this front shoulder. It's the lack of resistance on the back side. This scap load is absolutely crucial to creating and generating great whip and bat speed, as well as greater adjustability for your hitters to see the ball longer in the zone. Stay back. This is what it is. Plus, this is what allows the energy to filter fast through the lower body, through the core, and into the upper body. Back to thinking about the process. We like to give our kids information about the result, and that doesn't do them any good. It makes them feel good about themselves and they're doing well, but it's not giving them the answer. We know what it should look like. I think hitting coaches do that well. We know what it's supposed to look like to our eye, but are you giving them the answer on how to get there? That's what I'm trying to give you here today. How do I get there to produce that process? And it is a process. It's not a result. If you get results driven, you're going to beat your head against the wall. Get into the process, find where the swing sequence breaks down, and attack that moment in time.